Okay. Well, welcome back to Name Three Players. I'm Raegan, and I'm alone this week. Well, not really, because I'm not as brave as Vic to do this completely solo. So I made Chloe come over and sit with me while I did this. So,
What a rip.
Vic is traveling home tonight, so just missed her by a hair where I would have had her with me. But she was on vacation with her family, so she's traveling home right now, and we had you all submit questions, and there are some interesting ones in there. A lot of you screaming that I'm single, and it's very, very evident, so we'll dive into that. But before we get started, we're just going to start off with an ad. This first half of the episode is brought to you by Waterboy. Replenish after a long weekend with a stick of Waterboy. Formulated with electrolytes and vitamins, this hydrating drink mix helps reduce nausea and fatigue and helps you chill out after a weekend out. Each stick of Waterboy is vegan, has 0 sugar, and includes 3 times the electrolytes and vitamins than its competitors. The original Weekend Recovery is available in strawberry lemonade and blue raspberry, with the newest Athletic Recovery available in lemon lime. So whether it's from working out or going out, reach for Waterboy. And you can use code NAME3PLAYERS, all spelled out, at checkout for 15% off. I miss Vic doing that. Vic, hurry home. Okay, well, I think let's just rip off the Band-Aid. I've been nervous about this all day. And thank you to everybody who submitted questions. If you don't want to learn about me, so sorry. We'll see you on episode 12 back with Vic, but here we are. So, Chloe, take it away.
Who's the best manager you've ever had and why?
Oh my gosh. For those of you that don't know, Chloe and I's friendship started when she was my manager at Chicken and Pickle. I worked there for a summer and was a server, made stupid money. I should go back. But I met Chloe and she would always do my checkouts, and like after my first couple of weeks I was like, wait, this manager seems like cool and normal. And then she told me an insane story about her dating life. That's a different story for a different day. And then I was like, all right, this girl's gonna be pretty cool. So Chloe, you were my favorite manager.
Thank you. Okay. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I did see this one and it made me giggle because truthfully, when my mom like first asked me that, I wanted to be a bus driver. No shame in that. Thank you to all the bus drivers. Honestly, it's a pretty sweet gig. Like, you get summers off, unless you want to do summer school. You do morning and night. Also, if you hear voices in the background, my brother-in-law, Vinny, shout out Vinny, is working. But yeah, so that's like what I actually wanted to be. But my first like serious thing is that I wanted to be a teacher, which also, if you know me, is comical because me and kids I just don't know what to do with them. It's not that I don't like them. I just like don't know how to talk to them. So that's what I wanted to be originally. Very far off from what I'm doing now. Bus driver and teacher were in the same realm, but now I am working in the bridal industry and a podcaster. So took a hard left, but glad that I did.
What is a sport you never played but would go back and play if you could?
Oh gosh. That's hard. I grew up dancing competitively, and my sister and I were in the studio like 4 days a week, traveling all the time for competition. So I didn't really have time to like explore other options. I cannot play basketball. I'll just say that. But I think if I had to go back, I would have started golfing because I really think it's like a fascinating sport. You get to chill on the course all day out in the heat and get a nice tan. And honestly, female golfers make great money. And to be on a tour and just play at nice courses all day would be great. So I think I would have done that. And my dad's a coach, so like we could have done that together, which would have been fun.
speaking of your dad, what is the biggest advantage and disadvantage to being a coach's kid?
Oh my. Biggest advantage was, or is, he coached football at my high school for years and years. I think he was there for like a total of 15, 20 seasons. And when I was in high school, I danced on the sidelines at home games, and then I was a traveling manager at away games. So the best part about it was that no matter what, on Friday nights we were on the sidelines together, which was really fun. The biggest disadvantage is no one, like, I dated the same guy all through high school, but like everyone was afraid to even get near me, look at me, talk to me, because they didn't want to disrespect my dad, which I can respect now. But looking back, I was like, man, if I hadn't dated this kid all through high school, I probably would have been single the whole way through because everyone was too afraid. But yeah, I wouldn't change it. It was a lot of fun having him. Like, that was kind of our thing together. So yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Ease me into it.
What's a hot take you have related to sports?
Holy shit. Oh gosh. I mean, people know this if you've been listening, but I feel like it could be taken as a hot take, being that I am a co-host of a sports podcast. But baseball is just like not the vibe to me. It's America's pastime. I get it. I get the tradition. But there is nothing more boring, I think, than a baseball game. And that's not to say going to Kauffman Stadium is a great time. The hot dogs are great. They do play great music there. And Salvi. I like Salvi as a person. But if I was just on the couch watching sports and a baseball game came on, immediately switching the channel.
What's the saddest you've been about a sports professional ever in regards to retiring or being traded from your favorite team or someone passing away, etc.?
Oof. I mean, I think Alex Smith, and again, not to be like, this is a Chiefs podcast. It's not, but this is my hometown team. Alex Smith leaving the Chiefs was bittersweet because, yes, we had Patrick Mahomes, but I think he did a lot for the team, a lot for the community of Kansas City. He still does. Like, when he came back to bang the drum, like, everybody went crazy. So I think that was sad. But I will say this past season, Juju being picked up by the Patriots was like a dagger to the heart, because I feel like he brought like kind of a new life to the team. He was just like what looked like such a fun teammate, like seeing him out in the community, and like he loved Kansas City, and I think Kansas City really loved him. So I think that was like a really sad, because we only had 1 year with him, and like everybody fell in love with him in that 1 year. I mean, you're playing for Bill Belichick, so that's really cool, but like, talk about on the downward slope there. That might be a hot take too. I don't really know. So I would say that's a good question, but I think those are the two.
On the opposite side of the coin, what's your favorite sports related memory or moment?
I think going to a game with my dad this past season, because he's always known that I've like liked sports and paid attention to sports, but there was one time I said something about what was happening in the game, and he like looked at me and was like, "You knew that?" And so I feel like that opened up a door to where we would always text through games and stuff, but never talk in depth. But then we had like actual in-depth conversations about what was happening in the game, and I just feel like that was really cool. But then also being at the AFC Championship with all the girls, that was like such a happy moment. Everyone was going crazy, and I'm just glad that we were all there. We were all sitting in separate places in the stadium, but we were all there. And then we found each other at the bar later. We all got too cold, found ourselves at the bar together, and then got to watch the rest of the game together. So, and then a dad got in a fight with Kinsey. He started out so cool, and then we took the lead, and he didn't like that, and Kinsey was cheering, and then he got in her face, and we were like, your child is sitting right here.
I think that's our last sports one.
All right, we made it through all the sports questions, and now people want to know,
What city would you move to tomorrow?
Oh, that's a great question.
Jess.
What city I would move to tomorrow? I mean, I want it to be different, but I'm going to be predictable. And if you've known me for the last 10 years of my life, you know that I would absolutely move to Phoenix in a second. That's always like been my dream. I grew up going out there for Thanksgiving when I was little, and like always thought it was fun as a kid. But then I went back my sophomore year of college and like fell in love with it all over again. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm definitely moving out here. Never did. And I went back like right after COVID and everything opened back up and was like, oh my gosh. But I just can't leave my parents, so can't do it. Well, and the girls, of course. But I think the girls would be more apt to travel out more than my parents would, just with their busy lives that they live. So I'd move to Phoenix, always said I would, but here I am turning 29 next month and never did. It's not too late. But
how has your transition out of corporate America been? Would you do it again?
It's been an adjustment in the sense that it's like corporate America's good. And this is not to hate on corporate America completely. If you love it, you love it. Good for you. I did not. But the one thing about corporate America that's nice is like the structure and stability. Like you've got your benefits, your 401k, your insurance all in one place. Whereas now being outside of the corporate world, all of that's separate, and like figuring that out has been a transition. But as far as like my mental and my love for what I do every single day is like a world of a difference. I transitioned into the bridal industry, and I work for a local boutique, and I absolutely love my boss. I love what I do. I love helping brides. No day feels like actual work, and it just has been like such a good transition. I get to leave work at work, and that's huge for me because, and there's sometimes that I do stuff like outside of work, like, but it's always on my own time, or if my boss and I are talking about it in the moment. Whereas in the corporate world, like, it's whenever you get a last minute request that you can't say no to, that then you have to work all night on, and for little to no reward, really. So I just like the work-life balance has been great. My love for what I do has been great. I get to help people every day. And I like truly love my boss. So I miss the people I met in the corporate world. But if the question is, would I do it again? Yes, 10 times over. It's been a great move, and I'm happy I did it.
Woo. Dress up or comfies?
Oh, gosh. I think it's a mixture of both. Like, there's nothing I love more than getting home from work and, like, changing into comfies. But I do like fashion and, like, the trends, and I'm a streetwear girly. If you ever see me out, like, I hope that the sneakers trend never goes out of style, because my friends know this about me, but if I wear heels, I'm lasting about 3 hours, and then I will not shut the fuck up about it the rest of the night. So I have learned to bring a pair of bring a pair of like sneakers to put on, but I do like dressing up sneakers. However, when I was in Florida, we were shopping in this little beach town, and like Southern boutiques, like the frills, the pink, everything was just like so girly. And then I was like, I am a streetwear girl in Kansas City, but if I lived in the South, you better believe I would be wearing the little dresses, the little heels. So that didn't really answer the question. I think both. Yeah. Comfies and dress up.
I would just like everyone to know that I'm currently staring at 5 different pairs of pink high heels. So take that as you will. What is an ideal night out with the girls look like?
Oh, not to be basic. I think the good thing about this is, like, I have, like, 2 really good groups of girlfriends. I have my girls in Kansas City that I go out with all the time. Chloe is one of them. Vic obviously is one of them. And then we've got Kenzie and Lindsay. We're always out all the time. But then I have, like, my college girlfriends, like Jess, Hannah, all of them. And either way, whenever we get together, it's always dinner and it's always a night out, which like I love. So just like a nice dinner or drinks with the girls, and then I just want to shake my ass. So anywhere that the girls can go. I love a good dinner and I love a chill night sometimes. But if we start and the night is young, we're going to go find a place with good music to shake our asses at. So a nice dinner and good music out with the girls is ideal.
Going along with that theme, what's your hangover cure?
Well, Waterboy.
Shameless plug.
But not shameless, because drinking one at night before you go out, and then either when you get home before you go to bed or the next morning right when you wake up, has truly made my life a lot easier. But if I don't have a Waterboy on hand, I'm going to need 2 egg rolls from Quick Trip and a Diet Dr. Pepper. Maybe some Dots pretzels. Because I've probably had Taco Bell the night before. And if I feel like shit, I'm not going to want that again. But there was one time we went up to the winery a couple weeks ago and I was down so bad. It was a night that Chloe and I were left unsupervised. On my way to the winery, almost lost it. But I got the Diet Dr. Pepper and the egg rolls right in the nick of time. And I arose from the dead.
But what's your go-to drink?
Depends on the vibe. I feel like that's a hard question for what my go-to drink is. I would say if I'm out with the girls, I've been on a dirty martini kick lately. So at dinner, I'm having an extra dirty martini with regular olives. Do not give me blue cheese. But if I'm out at the club or out with the girls, I am probably drinking a tequila soda with 2 limes or a high noon. But yeah, it's polar opposites, I guess. Dirty martini with vodka, then we go to the club and I'm drinking tequila. But I do love tequila, and it's been fine with my hangovers, so that's the one that's tried and true.
Okay. What to type on paper?
Shout out Love Island. On paper, a large athletic man. What that looks like in person could vary. Somebody who like is driven and has a good job, has a good sense of like what they want to do with their life, and loves their family. I feel like if I had to make a bulleted list, it'd be those things. Is that boring? I feel like I don't know. Bars on the floor. So nice, handsome, successful, and loves their family. That could encompass a lot in those bullet points there. So I feel like that's that on that. That's it. Vic just texted, and she's been delayed 4 times since this morning. So T's and P's for Vic. That sucks. I'm so sorry.
Okay. What are your biggest green flags for a guy you're pursuing? Or is pursuing you?
Well, again, bars on the floor. So, again, if he loves his family or whoever's close to him, because speaking from my own experience, like, I have my family, but then we also have, like, chosen family as, like, our extended family. So if he has, like, people in his corner that he's close with and, like, values them, if he can hang with my friends, I feel like that's huge. Just because all of my friends are such a big part of my life. And so if he can't be a part of that part of my life with me, then it's not going to work, bruv. I've got to stop with the love. I watched 6 episodes of Love Island today. So it's just there. And then again, is he driven? What is his career? And it's not like I'm looking for somebody that makes all the money in the world. It's, do you have a career that you're like passionate about, that you're excited to go to every day, that gives, like, fulfills you in a sense? So As long as he has a job, a career that he loves going to and that he works hard for and that drives him, then I think that's great. And he has to be funny because I'm fucking funny and I need him to match the energy. So, yeah.
I'm asking this on the fly. Crazy.
Oh.
What are some of your red flags?
Red flags. My red flags.
Ick list.
Yeah. Vic mentioned this in her solo episode too, but the girls have collaborated on an ick list on our notes, and she be growing daily. Some of my red flags are, again, if he's not close to his family. Like, if you don't have a good relationship with either of your parents or your siblings in some capacity, that's fine, but, like, that's just not how I roll. So I feel like that's just, like, an understanding that you need. Like, to me, like, my sister and my parents come first. Do you have people in your life that also come first to you like that? And Vinny. My whole family comes first. And then red flags, like, just on the surface level, like, you have to have good shoes. That's the first thing I notice. I will see your face, and then I will immediately look down at your shoes, and they have to be good. We can have different styles. Like, I don't care about that, but you're not wearing, like, Nike free runs or Hey Dudes to the bar. Like, have some style there. Sorry to my Hey Dude listeners. I'm just kidding. Hey Dudes just aren't my vibe. They can be somebody else's vibe. They're just not mine. And if he doesn't work out, I would say is like a red flag. Just because, what do you do? I don't know. That sounds so shallow. Because, like, I'm going on week 3 of being on a vacation where I don't work out. And that's fine. Balance. Because in turn, that would motivate me. Like, I am very motivated to work out and all of that, and I need somebody that's also on that wavelength because I'm easily convinced. And so if I'm with somebody that's like, no, let's just skip the gym, let's eat out for a week straight, I'm gonna do it, and I need somebody to hold me accountable. But yeah, I think those didn't sound too shallow. Oh, but I mean, yeah, if you're just like blatantly rude to women and like you think it's cool to hate on women, not the vibe. It's not the vibe.
Okay. What is your most embarrassing dating story? And then there's also the worst date you've ever been on.
Okay.
I don't know if those would be the same or different.
No.
Different.
So my most embarrassing dating story, I would love to be like, oh my God, I have to think about it. I don't know. But like, immediately one comes to mind, and it was last summer. I was on a date, blind date. Well, I mean, not blind. Is anything ever really blind anymore? Mm-mm. I knew what he looked like from social media, but we never met in person. And I was meeting him at a patio. You have to walk through the restaurant and then down like 3 or 4 stairs to get to the patio. It's a nice summer night. The patio's popping. He has a table like right in the center, can see me immediately. So it's not like I hid this from him. I literally start talking to him. I'm like, so sorry I'm late. Slip. Eat it all the way down the stairs. And it's not like I just fell on one step and stood there. I fell on one step and slid down. And the table of dudes next to me, before I get to him, were all like, hey, classy, graceful, great job. And I was like, everyone shut the fuck up. Everyone act like you didn't see it. And the poor guy obviously started laughing. I would be concerned if he didn't. Mm-hmm. But then, like, I got to the table and, like, me panicking, spiraling in my head, tried to just, like, play it off. Like, be like, oh, my God, what a grand entrance. And then, like, sat down. I was like, how was your day? But then the guy could not stop laughing but, like, he was, like, trying to hold it in as he was talking to me, which I felt bad for him because I wanted to be like, just let it out. Like, I know that I just fell down the stairs. But he didn't. He ended up being a total dick for other reasons. But in that moment right there, he handled it like a champ. And I did not. So I think that's my most embarrassing story. It was very humbling. Very humbling.
What's the worst date you've ever been on?
The worst date that I've ever been on. I mean, I've been on some, like, awkward ones. Like, one time this guy was so nervous and he ordered a plate of enchiladas and didn't wait for them to cool. And he took a huge bite. And it was, like, at an authentic restaurant. Like, this man came out with a oven mitt up to his shoulder. Like, this plate was hot. And he just immediately took a bite. And, like, obviously your first instinct is to want to spit it out because it hurts. But he didn't. And he was, like, talking to me. And I literally was like, I know that your mouth is on fire right now. But that's not the worst date I've ever been on. But, like, I've been on some awkward ones like that. The worst date I ever went on was I met this guy at a jazz lounge downtown. And they, like, have live music there. Like, really good cocktails. We had talked about, like, before, like, just getting to know each other. Like, what do you drink? What's your drink of choice? Blah, blah, blah. And so we get there. And it's not like he was waiting on me. Like, we both got there together. We sat down together. The waitress comes over and was like, what can I get you all? And he immediately ordered for me. So I was like, red flag, one, because not to sound like a feminist, but I am. And I can order for myself. And two, you ordered something I didn't want. So.
What was it?
He ordered me, like, some vodka martini, and at that point I had not found my love for dirty martinis. I still love tequila through and through, so, like, no, that's not what I wanted. But I just was like, okay, thanks, like, whatever. But I should have known right then and there how this was gonna go. So then we're, like, talking, whatever, and he's asking me about my friends. And he's asking me, like, he asked me this question. He was like, are any of your friends in relationships? And at that time only one was. And he was like, all right, so picture this. You and your little whore friends. And I literally said, my what? And he's like, come on, like, a bunch of single girls in the city. I was like, don't ever say that again. I was like, my friends and I, keep going. He was like, have to give your one relationship friend advice. What are you telling her? And I was like, what the fuck kind of question is this? But I was like, it depends on the situation. That's so situational. There's not cut and dry answers. And he's like, well, she's unhappy. What are you telling her? Blah, blah, blah. And I, like, answered it like, I'm going to hear her out, whatever. I answered it. And he was like, interesting. I feel like that was a whole lie. I was like, okay, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, whatever. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish. So then I, like, suffered through a couple more questions like that where I just was stuck on the horror of it all. Mm-hmm. And then this couple next to us, I was looking at them all night being like, wow, they're, like, so cute, so in love, like, enjoying the music, blah, 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 like, sitting on the same side of the booth, which normally I'm a hater when that happens. But they were just, like, cute, and, like, the stage, like, they were looking at the stage. And she was dressed, I thought, in a very cute outfit. And he was like, so what do you think that couple's story is? And I was like, I don't know, I think they're really cute and in love. And he was like, the way that girl's dressed, she's so unhappy and is just trying to keep him around. And he just kept making little comments like that where I was like, no, we are totally not on the same page about this. Life, the world in general, could not be farther from each other. So he went to the bathroom, ordered me another drink before he did so. And I was like, bye. And I dipped. So yeah, that's the only time I've ever, like, ditched a date, ghosted a, not the first time I've ghosted. And I texted him. I was like, so sorry, I had to run. Thanks. He said, I figured it'd probably end like that. I was like, so you knew you were being a complete dick the whole time. He's like, I just like to see if people can take it, you know? I was like, well, you disrespecting my friends, myself, and the stranger next to us who didn't do anything to you, can't take that. So that's my worst story. Long-winded answer, but a lot happened. Okay. Haley submitted this and said, who is your favorite sister? Well, I only have one, but if I had to choose any sister in the world, I would pick Haley 10 times over. Yeah, she's like my bestie, built-in bestie. We live together, me, her, and Vinny, just one happy family. But yeah, Haley, if I had to pick, I'd still choose you. If you had a twin, I would still choose you. Oh, yeah, okay.
Pete or Sammy? These are her dogs.
Yeah, Pete or Samson. Again, Haley asked this one. And Samson is my dog, my family dog. Pete is Haley's dog, child, pride and joy, one and only. And I love them both very much for different reasons. Samson is like the light of my life, and you could never force me to pick anybody over Samson. Even Jess's dogs, Ted and Millie, love them to death, but Samson's like mine. So, sorry, Haley, but Samson, yeah. We may need a visual aid on that one. I'm not quite sure. If I need to put Samson on the story, twist my arm.
Okay, then the last one. Tanner wants to know if he can get a hell yeah brother.
Tanner, let me give a little backstory. Tanner is like my childhood best friend. Our families, like our dads have been friends since high school. We've been friends forever. And we always go to the lake together every summer, multiple times a summer. And one year I was a little wild. Shocking.
Wow.
But they were doing a belly flop contest at a bar that day, and the guy came around with the mic, and I was like, can I see that? And he gave it to me, and so there's a video, I cleared my throat and gave him a good old, hell yeah, brother, and the mic to the whole bar. And he thought it was funny, which I feel like that could have gone one of two ways, and I probably would have got the whole family kicked out if he wasn't fun. He was fun. So there you go, Tanner. That hell yeah, brother, was for you. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I think we got through all the questions. Thank you, Chloe, for being my emotional support human. Chloe saved the day. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been able to do this by myself. Shout out Vic for doing so. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. I hope I could clear up my dating life for everyone. But yeah, thank you to everybody. Vic will be back next week, thank God. And neither of us are allowed to ever leave each other ever again. So if we travel, all three of us go.
Deal.
But yeah, I think we'll wrap this episode up with one last sponsor. And then I will relieve you all from having to listen to just me. But the second half of this episode was brought to you by our girls at Jet Athletics. Jet Athletics is an on-demand fitness platform that fits in your carry-on. Whether you have 10 minutes or 50, no equipment or access to a full gym, Jet Athletics provides an all-inclusive getaway to the movement of your choice. You can use code NAME3PLAYERS, again, all spelled out, for 15% off of your first month of Jet Athletics and their on-demand membership, and get instant access to 75 classes, or more than 75 classes. And like Vic and I have said, we've taken their towel service class in person, and it was such a great workout. Kicked my ass, but in the best way. So definitely check them out. And I'm looking this up right now just to be sure. But by the time this airs on Friday, their co-captain Gigi is hosting her own class in person, downtown Kansas City, at no vacancy on Saturday, July 15th at 10 a.m. You can sign up online, visit their Instagram. Everything's in the link in their bio to do so. Again, great class. If I didn't have to work, I would be there. So check them out. Thanks to Jet for sponsoring your girls. But with that, I will leave you all. And be back next week with episode 12 with Vic. We release new episodes every Friday on Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music. We're on YouTube, and every Friday, follow us at Name3Players on Instagram and TikTok. Stay hydrated, do your workout classes with Jet Athletics, and have a great weekend for the girls. Bye!